reason behind creating this YouTube video is to build awareness. It's so that the wider community can be aware of what goes on here at the JCA, not that stuff that goes beyond just the parties that we have here, because the JCA name is in the community. But what's associated with JCA is the various events that we have here, and not what actually goes on here in terms of our social services, in terms of the membership, in terms of the involvement. It's, you know, people in the wider community can actually come to the JCA, get involved, learn, do community outreach, actually connect with your heritage. And these are the things that we're trying to point out and to get out there. We believe that the more we do, we target the social media, then the more we will be able to get the word out about JCA and have the wider community involved.
The organization was created to gather Jamaicans together initially to celebrate the independence of Jamaica in 1962. Through its formative years, the association dealt with arriving immigrants from the West Indies who had to deal with a country that was not as welcoming to them as it should be. Among the struggles were immigration issues. Canada in those days was not very friendly to non-white immigrants. And those immigrants coming from such a place had difficulty entering Canada. In addition, other issues such as gaining employment, getting proper housing, gaining accommodation in public places, and later on, issues with children, education, and so on, were issues that we had to deal with in the early days.
I got involved in the JCA back in 1982 because at that time I was a union activist, and Bromley Armstrong approached me and said the JCA was in need of people like you, and I think you would make a good member, and that's why I joined. My most memorable occasion, I would have to say it's part A and part B, was back in 1996 when we acquired a building at 995 Our Road, and we were faced with a 2-year challenge to get the property rezoned so that we could establish the community center that we have here now. And the second part of it is a flow from that, which is the grand opening, which took place on August 7th, 1999. I think I was still president then, and I think that was the proudest moment for me as a JCA member.
I came to Canada in 1963, and in 1964, I moved from Saskatchewan to Toronto. And I stopped in the YMCA and Bay and College. The evening of my first day in Toronto, I walked towards the West Indies Federation Club at College and Brunswick and was picked up by a policeman and taken to jail. It was after I was released that I found the club and was told about the Jamaican Canadian Association. I went to them on the Sunday, attended their general meeting, and told them my story. The president, Mr. Williams, got involved, sent letters to the necessary leaders